Welcome to the Titan Circle Forex Trading Study Group. My name is Dan Hansen. Today is June 29th, the last Sunday of the month. And we come here every week to learn hone our skills in trading. And today, I definitely have some questions that need to be answered. And let's have at it. Hey, Ron, welcome.
What's up, buddy? Just good to be here, man. And just to kind of tap into your knowledge base. It's always good to,
Um,
have meeting of the mind, so to speak. I get clarity when I listen to other people. So it's all beginning to come together. It's just been a journey, as far as trading and learning the knowledge and the skill set. So, but hey, man, I got in on the tail end this morning, so I'm sitting here trying to recreate the chart that G Money went over. That
so
and I
how
know he used
now,
forex.com. So I got forex
right now,
and
so let's see, which one do I have? Let me get the forex.com one. That's one I don't have in my collection.
I noticed during the week that's what he uses. Because some of those charts, the candles are different.
Forex.com. Okay, I got that one. All right. So I'll bring that up to the top. I have all kinds of gold charts. And this is fx.com. So yeah, he jumps around to a lot of different charts. I know he's looking for clean candlesticks.
When you say
So
clean, what do you mean? Not
clean.
many wicks?
Well, here's all three of I'll show. First one, this one's a Wanda's, which
Yeah,
looks all just about the same. In fact, I'm gonna remove my drawings. Notice how the last three candles.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we've got the big bullish candle, then the doji candle, and then this inverted hammer.
So call that a evening start form.
Maybe, could be close enough. And of course, I'm looking at the monthly, but then we go to the this is the Saxo, which looks almost identical.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Then here's the Forex.com. See, they all look the same.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the price, if you notice, the prices keep changing. Like that's like current prices at 32.73 on FX. Forex.com is 32.74.24. 0.26
26.
on Saxo and
Yeah.
0.175 on. So there's just a slight price difference variation. And of course, Awanda's got this weird flaky candle, but the Saxo and the other ones are looking identical or
Yeah,
pretty.
they don't have no body to it. That other one had a little body to it.
So the only thing I add different that G Money doesn't add is I always like to mark, since we're at an all-time high with gold, I just kind of want to set that aside and mark it off as the all-time high. That just for me,
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me go to the you own the what monthly you said?
right now I'm at the monthly. That's just something I personally do. G Money doesn't do this.
Well, I know he started out with the previous weekly high, previous weekly low.
But this is why I was saying that 35, we're on our way back to 3,500 and above. I think the next highest range we'll get to is 4,000.
Okay, hold on. Let me mark that.
So I just mark it off just for personal notes. I just kind of want to know where my all-time high is.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me do this. That's pretty good. Okay, that's good to know where because once it hits that, it's gonna release itself.
Well, we know there's plenty of sellers up here because it keeps pushing price down to this level, which is interesting, which is this closing price. See how they just sitting right there at that edge at 32.88. All three of those tops are the same level. And that to me is a very strong level of resistance. That's what I said. Kind of got this morning started going.
Can I repeat that? I'm sorry, I was marking that all-time high up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no worries.
So I got that mark.
Mhm. And
Okay, so
I'm not going
so
to
now
read
what is that purple? What is that purple
the
line?
purple line. I'm just showing you that if you look closely at these candlesticks, they're all right at that level.
Well, they're equal. Yeah, they're pretty much equal.
Exactly. I don't, I'm not concerned about it, but something I want to keep in the back of my brain that I know
Point of
that
interest.
it's a point of interest. It's definitely a resistance level.
Yeah.
So I can just mark this off as, I don't know, kind of like a, like,
Point of resistance.
yeah, this is support and resistance, but this is on a monthly scale.
Kind of like a base.
Right. Definitely a base because it could be a base forming. Um, and that's on the monthly. I just put monthly support and resistance. That's fine. This
Yeah,
just
that's
to keep
good.
an eyeball on it. Um, we're not going to work, although I know now that we go to the weekly candlesticks, see how that monthly support and resistance line just is smack dab in the middle of all this stuff?
Yeah, it's right on that base too. It
It's
stayed
it's true,
it
right on.
stayed on that base.
Mhm.
You see that base there that it so that's a good strong point.
Right. And then he was talking about this base, this open here as a level
So
of
why did he use that candle? Why I got in on tail
this.
end. Okay, you got three other four. Why that candle?
This candle is because we've got forming a brother engulfing candlestick right here.
So that's why he did. He used that. Okay, because
No,
of that.
not so much that, but because it had no wick at the bottom. So that is
Oh,
a
okay.
very strong level of they call that is that the weekly previous weekly open. That's what I'm looking.
Previous week low one. That's what I got marked. Okay, so he got it at that bearish candle, that bullish candle. Is that bullish?
That is a bullish candlestick, yeah.
Okay, so I need to do.
Hey, Ulysses,
And the
welcome,
reason he
man.
did that because he didn't have a wick.
No, you're looking at this previous weekly open as another area for price to get to. So that would be the first area of support and resistance, the first area of support on the way down. So according to G Money, we're looking to test this previous weekly opening. And then we also got the previous weekly low here.
Okay, hold on, man. Damn,
And
PWO. You said previous week low.
right. So last Friday was a previous week. And then we got
Okay. So I got previous weekly open, monthly
right.
support
This,
and
uh,
resistance.
right. This previous weekly open is a tad bit different because it's a previous weekly. So it's definitely a previous opening, but
You
it's
got
not
3203.
47. So what G Money's suggesting is that price is going to do one of these things. It's going to do an impulse correction, and then come back down and test that.
Okay, let me see where your previous weekly. Oh, okay, I got it. That's on the current calendar because the week is over with.
The week is over. So at 5 o'clock
Yeah,
Central
that's
Time.
previous week.
So yeah, you're excited, Ulysses. All right. And always feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question, Ulysses. All right. Feel free to ask away. But yeah, so when like I said, I purposely mark up this all-time high just because I know that is a target we're trying to get to, or at least I'm looking to get to. I also know we've been on this big bullish trend for so long. We've been going straight up. Eventually it's going to test it it's going to test it at least one more time before it comes back down. And then the other thing we're going to keep an eye all ball out for is this open here. That's another previous weekly open. And which is
And
interesting.
that's on the bullish candle.
That's on the
I
bearish,
mean a
actually.
bearish candle. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
bearish candle.
Mhm. Here's weekly open. So this is our big range from here, from this top line here. I'll change the color. This looks a little different. I'll make that, I'll make it green, a nice green color. It looks almost black or orange. Yeah, I'll find a color. I would call it red. There we go. We'll figure out a color that'll work. So these are targets. This is a target, and this is a target. Okay, so we're looking for these two targets. That's what we're looking for. So we know we're in this zone. This basically this low to this high. So which is interesting. On the weekly, it's too much information to look at, but if you think about it, we got this huge impulse from way down here. We already haven't had much of a pullback, but if you even fib just this low to high, we already did an impulse and we corrected to the 236. So this fib, just on this impulse on a weekly scale, is not exhausting. But it's still too much data.
Because it didn't hit the 272. It
Oh,
didn't
it
go
didn't
to
even
the
hit the
extension.
50 or the 382. It just bounced off the 236 and continued up. It closed this gap, though. We were talking about fair value gaps this morning, too.
Yeah. It closed the gap. I see
It
that.
closed this gap here at the 236, which is good. So that means the bulls are still in control of the market. However, I still think we need to come back and test this one more time.
The 382.
Correct. At the
Or it
3,
could go to the
at least the
50. Yeah.
236 one more time. I believe it's going to test the 226 one more time before it continues to go up. However, it may come as low as the 382.
Well, you got that ETM counter there. That what is that?
This is a weekly rally-based rally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going to mark this zone because it's way too big. That's on a weekly time scale. So we're going to call this a weekly demand zone. And it is a weekly RBR. Okay, so we know that price may all come down to here.
Right.
That's a target I'd be looking for. So I'd be looking if I were on a smaller time scale, I'd be looking for the entry to go from the buy to go from the zone to at least this high. And my stop loss would be just below that, somewhere around the 50. So that's a 2.5 to 1 ratio, which is that's right now
So
we're looking at
you looking at taking it at the front.
yes. And if I decide to take it, or I could take it from the middle or the back.
Yeah.
But to play it safe, that's why I only did the body instead of the whole candlestick. Because when we go down in time frames, this we're going to keep an eyeball on this movement right here.
Yeah.
We're going to keep an eyeball on that rally-based rally right there. Because
11:30.
these candle now we're going to look for a tighter time frame.
Hold
So
on a
just
minute. Hold that right there for 1 second.
yeah,
30.
sure. And what I'll
Let's
do is I'll
see.
take a snapshot of that.
84.99 profit level. 342. 34, 34, 32, 34, 32, 5. $29.44. Okay, cool.
Right. So looking just at the previous week, this is the candlestick we're going to be focused on for this week's trades.
Right, right, right.
So now I take this same similar fib and I go the opposite direction with it. And I'll put it like right about there to here. So I'm covering this zone. So I know for sure I'm looking for sells. So we're going to keep this trade off to the side. And we're going to keep it at the front line at the moment. But right now for the week, G Money was talking about at least hitting this previous weekly low target, which is the extensions of this candle's retracement. And I see how I actually hit it right smack dab at the 50 and trade it down. So the trade for that would be to go for the sells when it hits the 50 to the previous weekly low. Hey Dave, how's it going? And then set my stop loss at the top. That's
Hey
about a
man, doing
one-to-one
great,
trade.
brother.
What's that?
I'm doing fantastic.
Fantastic. All right, Dave. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You have the same name as my son, so it's a good name.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So when we're in G Money's class, we're looking for the sell going into next week. So he's looking for the pullback on this last bearish candlestick. So I definitely fibbed off that week, the weekly candlestick. Set my trade at the 50. Let me make that a little bigger so we can see it better. So I'm looking for a retracement to hit somewhere around the 50%. And then take it back up to take it back down to the extensions and this low, which is his target for this week.
That previous weekly low, you take it to the previous weekly low?
Previous weekly open.
Previous weekly
It's
open,
actually the
okay.
open and the low. So he looks at openings of candlesticks as targets for price to go to. So so he's looking to those levels. So here's an open on the bearish candle at the high and the bullish open at the low. So we got this impulse, just this one impulse. This is interesting. Impulse. If we're going to go correction, we already hit the 786. So we could totally be wrong. Just looking at the weekly scale, this could just been the impulse. This would be the correction. And then we're going to be looking for our way up to this top. So that's the other way to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depending on what you pick as your high and your low, will depend on where you're going to place your trades. I'm still thinking we got this, even though this gap was filled in this candlestick, we still got this rally-based rally down here on a weekly scale. So we got our weekly measured out. We got our support and resistance level, our targets, which is a higher open on the sell candlestick and a low sell on the lower candlestick. So that's pretty much the impulse correct. So we got the impulse, the correction, and I'd say we were on the impulse. And I personally think we're gonna make a move like this.
Yeah, pull back to the, yeah,
I
okay.
think we're done with the pullback.
Oh, you think so?
I'm not positive, but I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna come here, test this, come back, test this, and then hit that. Because we're always trying to get new highs and new lows. So based on the weekly, we're looking to take out this high,
Right, right.
or technically the all-time high. Because if you did the all-time high just from this impulse, That's a whole different animal. If you did this complete impulse, now we're talking too many fibs here. Too many fibs here. So if you just look at the one impulse and then the correction, let's see, where did it go? Here's the impulse, here's the correction. Just this impulse and correction. And we look at just, so we got the impulse, correction, almost
Impulse.
at the 786, came back up, tested the one, or at least made a new high, tested this high. And that interesting, look at that. That wick became a level of support and resistance. So the previous close of this candlestick is the area of support and resistance. That's why I marked it off as a target. So we're looking to get back to that target for price to continue going up. G money is looking for the trend to continue down because we got two strong bearish candles. That's why we kind of walk our charts down. So those are the two ways we're looking. He's looking for the correction down to this area first, go down, test the previous weekly low, and that could be our turnaround to continue up because it'd be a higher low to continue the trend. So if we did something, marked off the trend, this particular trend, boom, that would be our journey up. So once we cross this line here, we're still bullish no matter what. G money is thinking we might test a little lower, come back and test this off, but that's okay too, because the only way we'll continue going further down to hit this rally-based rally is we need to have that push up, test this previous weekly low, and then come back down and test this weekly rally-based rally. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things that we're looking for. We're trying to predict where price will go. And if I look at the impulse correction impulse, I'm done looking because this is my impulse, my correction. Don't have quite a full impulse yet. But if we come back
Correction.
as the zone here, 786, what do we got? We got a harmonic pattern, which will take us back to the top side. So I'll show you how that looks like and how that plays out. And all a harmonic pattern is nothing more than a Fibonacci tool. And I'll always bring it down about the 786, right about there. So our first take profit would be from here, this level where this B is. The second level would be somewhere like where this low is. And then C would be our ultimate take profit. So that's how a harmonic works. And I don't usually trade harmonics, but I'm looking for us to continue this pattern and with G money. I have a feeling we're going to come back and test this rally-based rally at some point. But I could be wrong. I mean, this might be it. And we're just on our way back up.
So you see that happening during the Asian market?
I don't know when it will happen. This is don't forget, this is a weekly time scale.
Weekly time, yeah, okay.
So each of these candlesticks took a week to form.
Yeah.
So now if we go down to the daily candlesticks, we see that could be a true statement because we have this impulse, still the correction, and the impulse. And what do we have here is we have that, I guess Dr. Latrice loves her evening stars and morning.
Evening star.
Right. So now what we need to continue down is for the next three candlesticks to create a drop-based drop to continue going down. If it fails to do that and we're done, we're at least going to attempt to hit this line of support that I drew earlier. This is a support line. I can even change it. We can change it up to this candlestick if you want. And the bottom of this, where's this? And something like that. And if that's the case, we're already through it and we're on a downward trend. But I'll save that one for later because I don't like doing the trends on this time scale. I'll hide this Fibonacci. We don't need it right now. We don't need the rally-based rally, but honor this harmonic pattern. But as I was saying, the harmonic pattern, if we complete this pattern, the price technically should go back up to 3,500. Technically. So
drop base drop over there.
right. And G Money is always talking about what? Creating patterns. And so far we have not finished this N wave. So this impulse correction impulse is a lower high. So we still got this high, we got a higher low here. So we got two higher lows. This would be my level of resistance now, or support, this here. That's what I'm saying. If price breaks the previous weekly low, breaks and closes below, I'd be looking for price to continue down to this previous weekly open, which was on right now. Look at even this. It's created
Drop base drop.
no, but it's also created not just a drop-based drop. It's not even a drop-based drop. It's worse than that. It's a flip zone.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, it's flipped because
It flipped because
the bullish candle, yeah,
correct.
but yeah, it flipped. So he's looking
Flip
at
zone.
buyer's territory.
And this would be a daily flip zone. So we could at least look for price, see how it glanced off once. Hadn't quite hit it another time. So once we get a candlestick going through this flip zone, then we're going to be definitely looking for price to continue going lower to come back and test this entry that I have down here. And how many pips would that be for a win? We're talking about a $34 change, $344 change in price. So you're talking about 3,000. Yeah, a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So take that and multiply it by 100. So you're talking about 34,000 pips to be had. That'd be a sweet, talking about calling it a career. I'm done. I'm done trading for the year. I got all my
He
money.
done for the year.
That is a big one.
Hi, I am the legend. Welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to answer. But this is what we covered in class this morning, how G Money looks at the previous weekly opens, the previous weekly low targets. The high and the low of the previous week is definitely, this is the current week in blue, and found two other previous weekly highs and lows, just support and resistance levels, which are always bases of two candlesticks. So these are support and resistance levels, and they happen to be just previous weekly opens. One's on a bullish candle, one's on a bearish candle. So these are targets we're looking for, price to go to. If it does go up and surpasses that, then we're off the past 3,400. And if I'm correct, I'm looking for price. If I were to guesstimate, my favorite place, boom, boom. I look for price to be heading up to $4,084, just based on that move. but
because it's going to exhaust that field.
no. So this is what they call the trend-based Fibonacci tool. So here's
Oh, okay.
the impulse, and then I fib the zero at the retracement. But I don't think this retracement is done yet, based on the fact that if you take a normal fib, just a regular plain old Fibonacci tool, that's our weekly high and low. That's just, so there's our, and so we went all the way up, came back and tested the 382. We may be done. Right now, price is literally closed on the 236. Let me zoom in on that.
So it may continue up.
It may just continue up. We may not
Yeah.
even see the lower low. We may not even
Right.
see this at all.
Did you break it?
We have not broken the fib of this one impulse, just this one impulse. That's on
Oh
the
yeah.
weekly. Isn't that interesting? Even on the daily, look at the daily fib. Let's use the same Fibonacci, the daily time frame, you know,
Mm,
we still haven't broken. Although we could break this Fibonacci tool since we got it on the daily level.
yeah.
We move that up. It still hasn't come back and it hit the 50,
Zero. Mm-hmm.
the 50, and it hadn't quite hit the zero again. So this is nothing more than sideways trading. We've got almost triple tops. That's why I had this previous weekly open. If you drag it out a little further, it's triple tops right there. And that's a very strong, very, very
This
strong level.
Yeah.
resistance. Yeah.
That's why it may or may not break it, you know. So if you're in a swing trade, like I said, I'm looking for a price to come back and test this zone down here. It's previously rally-based rally. Have nothing to prove for it, but right now, based on this one fib, we're done with this impulse. Because I can even move it up to the next one because this already hit the extensions. This little impulse, I can even move it up one more. And we came back and tested the 618, which is institutional
Mm.
levels. And we're coming back to test the 50 one more time, which is, and look at where it's at, right on that flip zone. Just about
Wow.
flip zone, which is the previous weekly low. You know, so can we make it further than that? Good question. Don't know. We still got this huge fair value gap down here.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, what I wanted to mention.
Oh yeah, I never forget the fair value gaps because they're my favorites. You know, I like the fair value gaps. And then we can extend that. Boom. And I'd be looking for at least price to come back and test this one more time, if not a little deeper.
Do you take it at the 50 or you go to back wall? I guess it just depends, huh?
It depends. My
On
rule
that fair
of
value
thumb is
gap I'm
always at
talking
the 50. My level's always at the rule of 50. And then so my rule of thumb is just to take the trade from um at the 50
from 50, huh?
and then take it back to like whatever, maybe up to here,
The next,
here,
okay, fib line. Yeah, I got you.
Oh,
Hartford line. I have several different strategies, although my stop loss won't be that deep. My stop loss would be probably at the base of this candlestick, which is the 786, and
mm.
I take it up. There's a 2-to-1 trade if you want to do the 2-to-1. I can do the 2-to-1, or if you want to do it up here, the previous week, that would be my target. Based on that fair value gap, that previous weekly
Uh,
open would be my target to go back to.
yeah, Yes, so Dan, I don't know, how did you come up that that is a fair value gap? Because for me, I have a little,
Yeah, but
I
what?
do like for me, a fair value gap is a little bit different from what you've done there. So I'm like, I just want to understand how is that a fair value gap to
Well,
you?
normally fair value gap would be to the next lowest wick. So that'd be the where it started, and then this candle came in and started closing that gap. So the gap is usually, and it's not even a pretty fair value gap because this candlestick has literally no wick here.
Yeah, yes, yes. That was what I was looking at
So
because
that's the
I'm looking.
problem with that is
Uh, uh-huh.
it doesn't have a true fair value gap. However, we do have
Hmm.
a flip zone.
Yeah, that is a flip zone. Because I
I
was
can,
seeing a fair value gap just below it, just where you've
this
marked
one here.
like yes, yes, that one.
Well, that's actually my weekly. So this one now
Mm.
becomes, I see where you're heading. So this would become my fair value gap here
Yeah,
to here. That'd be my daily fair value gap. So you were kind of on the same page with that.
yes, yes.
I just didn't look that low yet but that's what I was looking for. I was looking for what would be the reason for price to turn around at that weekly rally-based rally.
Hmm.
And there we go. So it's the fair value gap on the daily, and it's also slash weekly RVR.
Yeah.
Okay. And we extend that right. So I could look for two things, but this one I would consider still a fair value gap because this candlestick, I'm using this wick and this wick, and
Okay.
there's the gap
Uh-huh.
that needs to be filled.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would be looking for
Yeah. And that is also the back wall of the rally-based rally that,
right here.
yes, yes. True.
Actually, it's a BEC, Berlin Engulfing
Yeah.
Candle.
Uh-huh.
So we got
And
slash,
been flipped. Go ahead and I've been flipped
another flip
once or
zone.
twice. Yeah.
Copy, flip zone, daily, daily, flip zone, slash, daily fair value gap. So there we go. So we got those two things kind of tightening up that zone. Uh, and you got a good eye for that. It's a great eye, you know. So now we got a flip zone versus a fair value gap. And the flip zone means that there's the last group in there are buyers. So this would be our first line of defense, which is exactly where this bounced right off of it. You know, if you play this whole thing, and then even on the flip zone, I put a midpoint line on it, a midline. We'll make that brighter or darker. Like that. Look at it, hit right on the 50% of that flip zone.
Yeah. And also, I don't know, for me also that kind of also, because that week it's more of a liquidity, so the back wall of the liquidity. So,
What do you mean back? Which one are you looking at?
uh, the immediate, I don't know if I'm able to annotate on your chart. Let me see
Sure,
here.
if you got the little pencil thing in your Zoom,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Oh, so this liquidity zone?
Yeah.
That's why I negated it doesn't matter because this is the daily flip zone slash fair value gap is part of that is all liquidity.
Yeah.
All liquidity because there's buyers and sellers in there. This is I don't really look at liquidity zones too much because there's always something above it or below it. The only one I know is for sure is this big bad boy up here, this liquidity zone up here. That's the only one
Hmm.
I would contest is this one here because that's where the all-time high is at. But going down below, this would be the next liquidity zone I'd look at, since this one, it could be a liquidity zone, but if you want to really get somewhat untechnical about it, this could also become a rally-based rally, counting the two candlesticks. So in other words, we kind of have this rally base, and then we continue.
Mm.
These two candlesticks could be the next rally.
Yeah.
And we got three pushes up, followed by another rally-based rally. And see how they just kept pushing price up until it hit these highs up here. And this is what is keeping price at bay at the moment. So now we're going to take a retreat and see how far back price will actually go before it can push through that ceiling again. Because it's going to take a lot of energy to get through that ceiling up there. A lot of energy. But I love it. And this zone down here is I'd be looking for, like I said, we got this fair value gap / flip zone. We got all kinds of fun stuff in here. And like I said, we got a brother engulfing candlestick situation going here, which kind of controlled it as well. Yeah, I've got to mention that in there too. So this is a demand zone, to be honest with you. And then we've got it's definitely a flip zone, so I don't have to change it, but I will make it green instead of, there we go. We'll make it flip zone like that because buyers are in control at this point. But yeah, it is a liquidity zone. From this end of this candlestick to the basically the whole entire flip zone, because I would this liquidity, it grabbed into some of it, but not all of it. And it's fairly very, so there's quite a bit of liquidity down there. There's money to be had. Let's put it that way. Okay, because if you really want to call it, you can. Right here at the 618 is another liquidity zone on the other end, or another what you can call a liquidity zone. There's money to be had there, but most of it's been had. A lot of the buyers been bought up here, but it would be cool. It'd be cool if we see this
Yeah.
thing here. But now we really have gone off tangent, but that's okay. We're looking at long-term strategy. But when G Money was talking about this went down to the 4 hour and looked for what we're looking for. What evidence do we have support that we can come down and test these levels? And right now, let's see if we can set our chart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so, wow, that is super. So, are you able to measure that down fib for the 4 hour just a little bit? We see like that retracement for the entrance.
Which one? Oh, this one here
Yes, yes.
from the entrance down here.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Super awesome.
That is basically I want to take it down to here. Is that $120? Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It's definitely a
Mm-hmm.
$120 drop, yeah. So I'll multiply that by 100, it's 12,000 pips. That's a lot of pippage to be had.
That's a lot, man. Uh,
Yeah, so that's the question. Will it come back and test this? But don't forget, we've got the crazy monthly support and resistance zone at the 382. And we've got this low up
So
here.
so your entry on that sale there, what is because it's at the 50 or that fib?
That one is at the 50 of that big fib I drew from the previous weekly, that the previous weekly high. Yeah. So basically it's based on this fib right here.
Oh, okay. So that's where you got it at. You got your entry there.
That's my
oh,
entry.
on the 50, yeah.
All right, so let me bring this closer. There you go. Yeah, so it's based on this particular Fibonacci of the previous week. And I take my stop loss right about there, or the 236, but I'll just keep it up there, you know. But that's still not a bad ratio. And then
So,
my take profit would be the um, target, which was the previous weekly open target, which is the extensions. So you can pick your extension or even come back to the 50 on that long-term candlestick, and that's still the or negative 0.18. That's still quite a bit of pips we're talking. That'd be
so
good.
if Dana may ask, that fib, is it a down fib or an up fib? Just trying
This
to,
this brown, I
yeah,
mean
That
this one here is a bearish.
okay,
The one is always, unfortunately, the start of the Fibonacci, and the zero is the end. So if
yeah,
the bullish has flipped around, and why it's not 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, why the zero is not at the beginning, I don't understand. Um,
mm-hmm,
why they do it that way? All I know it's 100%, and oh, I know why. Because it makes this move 100% move. How far back to one will it get? So it's
yeah,
just come back 78%, 50, 60. And just using the 1, 2, 3 strategy, I just would take it at the 50, and my first take profit would be here at the previous weekly low. My second one
mm-hmm,
would be at that flip zone. Third one would be at the negative 0.18, and then I would take it down to all the way down here would be the long-term trade. That's what I think G Money is looking for, is coming back down to this drop-based drop. But on the daily, I think.
yeah. So I'll be waiting to see where the market can open because we might even fail to break the 236 above. We
Oh, I
continue going down.
totally agree
Yeah,
with you.
that is
Um,
another entry.
yeah, in fact, I'm thinking we're kind of done with this downtrend. So we had the impulse, impulse correction. We still haven't finished this impulse.
Yeah.
This is just a complex pullback as far as I'm concerned. I'm thinking we're going to go back and hit at least. So I hit. This is the long-term goal. This is what I'm look at. Like, even just if you want to take this trade, this one to here, that's from the 50. Because I think we're going to test it once. Because I know we're going to get a push down because we're still in a downtrend for the previous week. So it's got to hit the extension. So I mean, if it at least comes down and touches the previous weekly open, that's the target G Money is looking for. That's where I think it's going to turn around and boom, take us over the 3,500. That's what I think is going to happen. Whether I'm right or wrong is, well, only the time will tell, you know. But I think this, because we still are sticking with the trend. The dollar is still weak. Let's take a look at the dollar real quick. The dollar is dropping like a like somebody put an anchor on the dang thing and dropped it in the ocean. It still hasn't come back and touched this stuff up here. So I think the dollar's done with its big impulse, and it's done nothing but pull back. And
Mm.
I'm afraid for our US dollar.
Going
That's why I
back to the
think,
COVID zones.
oh, exactly. And not only that, I think gold is pushing up because people are uncertain about what's going to happen to the dollar. And
Yeah.
we've been in so much with we got boots on the ground in Israel. We bombed, was it Iran's uh, place, nuclear plants or whatever. I was like, this is just ridiculous.
Mm.
And
And the news has been confusing. They're saying, oh, they signed. Again, Iran is denying. So,
well, I think all that stuff is nothing but distraction.
hmm, yeah.
The news is nothing but distraction. And somebody predicted that gold, so I can't remember which institution called it, but gold's going to go to 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, it's going to make a valiant effort to get the momentum to bring price. Oh, look at how far it's come since, let's see, where did COVID
It's
start?
just been climbing, you know.
Climbing since post COVID. It's just been nuts, man. Since COVID started back in March of 2020, right there. It's been doing nothing but climbing up and has not looked back since. So look at it. I have this marked up way back when. I kept that for a reason because I was expecting prices to come back and test this at some point. And look at where we're at. No way the heck at the moment is it going to hit there, but eventually it's going to come and hit these levels down that I marked previously. And that's why I'm looking for a price to at least come back to, if not back to test these levels down in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we might test these levels back in here. This whole zone here needs to be tested. That zone needs to be tested. This zone down here needs to be tested. So yeah, we have
Mm-hmm.
a, and
Is
we
that
have,
the monthly? Can we
that's
see it
just
on
a
the monthly?
daily. That's just a
Okay.
daily.
Okay.
If we go to the monthly, oh, look at this, man. Look at where it started.
Wow,
When it
definitely.
first opened up in 2000. Then here's the next 2015. This
Mm-hmm.
was 2011. This was 2011. Isn't that 9/11 was during that time? Was that 2011 or 2001?
2011,
11,
2011.
2011.
That is 11,
9/11
2011.
was 2011. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So September 11th, it took
Mm-hmm.
a drop, and then it's been just skyrocketing ever since. And I remember down in this area, they were looking for a price to go up to 3,000, right around here.
Mm-hmm.
And here it was called again. We're going to see 3,000. And we surpassed the 3,000 mark. We hit the 35, almost the 3,500 mark. So,
Oh,
yeah,
gold has been consolidating.
yeah, no kidding, man. So I'm looking for at least gold to come back, and even if it has this big impulse, this last impulse, this last candlestick. Look at that on the
Mm.
monthly. It's just so sideways, and I'm projecting we should continue this downtrend. But how far are we going to go? And there's that flip zone just sitting there waiting for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at that. But we don't have a gap here, which is interesting. There's not even a gap.
Yes, yes.
That's been closed. There's a gap down here. And I don't know if I count candlesticks without a wick as part of the gap. It's hard to tell. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't. But if I don't see a wick at the bottom, I'm not, because I'm saying there's no pullback.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's just been crazy. Just wicking just one monthly candlestick. We have no evidence of it going one way or the other. Just looking at this chart. Oh my
Uh,
God,
let's
man.
see. Let's see where that candle, because we're kind of forming an indecision candle, another one. So
Oh, it's
let's.
actually a little more than an indecision candle. It kind of
Mm,
is. When you see an inverted hammer, it's an
yeah.
indication that price is going to go the other way. So my guess is the next month we're going to be bullish, and we're going to
Mm-hmm.
go previous weekly high to create a brother engulfing candlestick move. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I think we're going to come back down, test this previous weekly low. This flips on at least a 50 would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice. That would be ultimate. But again, it's hard. It's so hard to tell. And
Oh.
that's why this says, I'm projecting. So now we can go to work for what we're looking for tonight. So let me get rid of one of these fibs. We're gonna get rid of this big one because it's just too much stuff in the way. Now we're gonna go to work on our 1 hour, and we're gonna look at our 204 box. Put our boxes back on, just so I know where to look. So here's my boxes. All right. So now I know exactly what I'm going to fib. I'm only getting, so here's our weekly fib going down.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my, haha, that's why I love it. So I'm only going to fib this last impulse, which is the 52 box. Check it out, boys. And girl, I don't know who I'm the legend is. That Dr. Latrice, welcome. But I don't think that's who you are. Come on. Get me in
See
there.
that makes it simple when you can just feel that 52 box because you see that impulse.
Yep, I see the
Clear to
impulse.
see that impulse. Yeah.
It's very clear to me. So that's my impulse.
And so
So
you waiting for it to pull back.
pull
That
back.
one, two, three strategy, right? That's where you use your 1, 2, 3 strategy.
That's all that is 1, 2, 3 strategy. And I take it down to I'll take it
Man,
down
that's
to the
awesome.
extension there. I'll bring it down to here.
Exactly.
So that's what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, I see that.
That's why I love the 1, 2, 3 strategy. And since all the boxes are pointing down, we're in the clearly in the 1 hour. We've got all the planets are aligned. We've got the 204 midpoint, the 52 midpoint, and the 17 midpoint is all pushing price down. So at some point, we're going to have this flip in price, come back and retest at least the 382 or the 50.
All the 50, right? Exactly.
Mhm. All right. And every hour that passes is going to make this 17 box shrink. So,
Mhm.
and then if so now I'm going to put this one over here, this little fib, and I'm going to make it kind of the same thing as my weekly. I want to, so that's what I'm looking for on this particular trade.
I
But
like
now
that
we go down
feel
to,
that you got.
so now we go down to the 5 minute and we look at the 1 hour structure. The 17 on the 1 hour is still pulling, it's still very bearish. So the idea is that even if we fib this little piece in between here, we're talking about pullback to at least the 236 to double check everything. But if it continues higher and breaks past this 52, breaks past the midpoint, like I said, it's a lot of complicated things. I just try to keep it simple. I'm a simple creature. I don't like too much complication. It makes life
So you
too.
feel the 1 hour, now you feel in the 5 minute.
Yep, just to get an idea.
52 box. You still doing the 52 box.
The fit. No, actually, this is the whole 204 box.
That's the whole 204.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Let me
Here's
see. Okay,
204.
I see it now. I see
I
it.
know,
Yeah.
right? It's so tiny, man. Now we're getting into details. So there's
Yeah,
the.
I see it. Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
But even so, I can still do the 52 box. It doesn't matter. Wherever you see your high and low. And that's why G Money always talks about where do you see your high and low? So if we're still talking the 52 box, we're looking at this high and low. This 52. Come on, buddy. So if that's the case, we're stuck at the 50. Look at that, how pretty that is. So even if you were to trade this, you could trade this from the 52. However, it looks like we're still going to test the 618 or the 50 of the 204 box.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, if
So you
price,
wait till it
when the
pull back
market
to a
opens,
certain
if
level.
we open bullish and create and then go, brother, so if we break and close above the 50 here, then the trade is going to be back to at least the 786. If not, we're going to go back and test this up here. That would be interesting because we got a rally-based rally just pretty much before on the 5 minute. We got the rally-based rally here, which is pushing price up, price back. So we're in the middle of a pullback no matter what level we're looking at. So we got two options here on this, just on the 5 minute. We can see price going up to here, test this, come back, test this. And if it continues to go back to here, I'd be looking for the turnaround to come back this direction, to come down here.
Dan, you gonna record this? My grandkids going to dinner. They want me to go. So you gonna
This is
put it
all
up today?
recorded. Yeah, I'm recording this and I'll put it up as soon as I can. Let me check the
All right, buddy.
you see a harmonic butterfly. What time was that, Ulysses? What time frame was that? Oh, can I open all the window? Yeah, so there you go. Keep forgetting about that. About so harmonic. I saw the harmonic too. I think was on the weekly. I pointed one out earlier today. Monthly, nope. Daily. Yeah, there it is. I see the harmonics you're talking about. I drew this one up earlier today. Let me hide some stuff. Let me just create a manage drawings. I want to do. Oh, let me just create a group of drawings. Here we go. All right, and I'm gonna hide the drawings. Cool. So I dig your harmonic. So here's your bullish harmonic. I think you saw.
Wow, wow. There's something you did there that was amazing. How did you do that?
Oh, you go into your object tree, highlight
Huh?
the drawings. Um, can you see my object tree here? It's got all the list of
Yeah.
rectangles and triangles. I put it encapsulated into a group, and I can just hide it
Mhm.
and bring them
Oh,
out when I need them. It's a very cool
that's a
tool.
yeah, that's a new trick. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Then you can just close down. Then, so if you want to make, you can actually make this your trading journal by creating groups saying this is what I'm looking at. And
Mhm.
the harmonic pattern that Ulysses was looking at is the same one I was looking at earlier as this formation.
There we go.
And then I'm looking for the pullback somewhere here.
Yep.
So what I did is I fibbed this from low to high, this impulse. That's all a harmonic is. So I want to at least come to the 786. Or if I do the add the 0.866, or at least down to here. That the one you're talking about, Ulysses? The harmonic pattern? But anyways, so it trades similar. So if it was a harmonic pattern that we're looking to trade, we're looking for price to come down, and we want price to at least come to this level, finish to here, come back to here, then retrace a little bit, come back to this next level, somewhere around the 50% of this impulse, come back, retrace, and then at least hit the C or the A. Definitely the C. So create some kind of flaky pattern like this. That's what we kind of look for in the harmonic pattern. To continue the pattern, find its end zone, and then trade up from there. Because all harmonic is a it's a Fibonacci tool. That's all it is. And I love trading harmonics. I don't do it very much, but the beautiful thing is we had, and we can go to my group, and we had this rectangle. No, not that one. One of these rectangles is one. There's the midpoint flip zone. Okay.
Yeah.
There's that. There's this one. There we go. Boom. And then we have this zone. So come back to the
Super.
back wall. It's a D. Look at that.
Mhm.
Go back, test the midpoint of the flip zone, or then come back to test the Bear Valley gap, test this flip zone up. So I could look for something like that. So if I traded just, and so if we want to trade this, we can trade. I prefer the front because I'm never guaranteed the middle or the back, but you can almost guarantee it'll definitely come back to an entry zone, which is usually here. And your stop loss is going to be the X over here. So somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you put a line on your X, that's your stop loss zone. And your take profit can be this zone, or
Mhm.
up here. In fact, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, and I will put that in our group chat. I'll take a snapshot of that, copy the link. I'll put it in the WhatsApp group. Paste. Boom. That's what now that would be cool. That's what I'm
Got
looking
it.
for. That would be ideal.
Mhm. So I'm just trying to see if there was another pattern that was created in between there. I don't know if you're able to draw it that are the same harmonic.
Within this one,
Yes, yes. Where gold was ranging there.
you can pencil. You got a pencil tool on your thing. Show me what is it on this time frame.
I'm just trying to see like from you moved
I'm
it.
sorry.
Let me do it. Let's see this from this one. Can you say something here was being formed which was not complete?
Oh, you mean for the bearish trend? Oh, actually, it kind of was. If you want to think
Mm-hmm.
about it, not pretty, but I know what you're talking about. So I see. So they're looking for the downtrend. I got you. Capiche. You could look at that way too. Here's your high. There's your impulse. Correction could be about here. Not a very good one.
Yeah.
That's not a pretty one. I'd probably use this one here instead. Let me redraw that because I don't like that. Come on, buddy. There
Mm,
we go. So this one, I see where you're heading with that. So you're looking for like this move to here to about here, here, or here. It's tough. Could do it that
stuff.
way too.
That is hard, yeah.
And that could be too, you know, go get it that way too. And you're still looking to trade down. It already touched the C, so already hit
So
B or
yes.
hit C, just hasn't hit A. So we can at
Uh,
least look for that to come down to here. So if you want to trade downward trend, the only way I would do that is we open and if we open and price closes below the C and starts making
yeah.
its way down and breaks past this flip zone, I'd be all over
Mm,
the cells.
yeah, yeah.
So I'd wait for it to break through, close below, then trade from down here to at least the low here, or at least the fair value gap, anywhere in the fair value gap. So
Hmm.
yeah. Or if you like zone to zone, just trade from zone to zone. Just trade the
Yeah.
flip zone to flip zone and call it a day. Right now, that's how many pips is that? Just between that zone and that zone. So we're talking
That is
860
860.
pips. 860 pips. Yep. 860
Yeah,
dollars. So yeah, there's plenty of money to be had in that
it's a
little
good
zone
one.
right there. Yeah. So yeah. But I'm also thinking this scenario, which is I know I'm looking for the continuation up because we don't have a completed N wave.
Hmm.
If those got the correction, we don't have a new higher high.
Yeah, yeah, true.
That's why I'm looking for this that harmonics to finish out,
Hmm.
which also takes your M wave and finishes it out. If you think about it, if you put my harmonic back, let's go back. Control C, 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 D, D, C. There. It's pretty much saying the same thing. So we're looking for
Yes.
price to come back and hit the same zone. So we're looking for the same thing in just different ways.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a deeper cut like G Money was looking for.
Hmm. So right now we can say that price is maybe at the equilibrium of this one, of this zone. So we break here, we continue going down.
Correct. If we break and close below that, yeah.
Mhm.
That's the only way I can see it happening. So if we go down the rabbit hole, let's see what's in the way here. So we had our focus on this zone. We'll just say we're focusing in here. Oh, focus on the flip zone area. All right, we got to see what's in this one candlestick in this fair value gap, which was also a weekly rally based rally. Look at that weekly rally based rally right there. There's always something, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll go down the rabbit hole. Let's see what we can find in this zone here to say, okay, where will price hit? All right, 12-hour. There we go. Look at
There we
that
go.
right there.
Wow, a break of structure.
Yep.
Shoot.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, that was awesome. Let's see.
You can't, it doesn't get prettier than that, does it?
Yeah, and this is why I like doing these mix trading to look like it's just fantastic. The details is always there.
hmm
Yeah.
And this was a 12-hour BC.
Hmm.
There we go. So, and it falls right in place with where we want to go.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I put my entry at.
It will be the first time price is coming. This is awesome, man.
Without even having to look that far. I just,
Wow.
oh, that's why I put
Mhm.
my entry. So, yeah, there we go. So that's what I think I'm gonna copy that link. Any other questions? I think we're done for today. If you have any other questions or want to run over anything else, just give me a shout out. Otherwise, it's been a
Yeah.
time. What do you got, Dave?
I'm actually I'm actually good. Thank you so much. This was fantastic, man. So I'm just putting an alarm to where that thing is. When it gets there, I'm going to say done alarm.
I know, right? I'm gonna
Yeah.
set myself an alarm and I'm gonna post it here, paste there. I'm also gonna put it in our inner circle.
Mhm.
Uh, study group forecast. Cast. I'll put that in our inner circle group chat. So there we go. Study group forecast. Boom, it's
Mhm.
gorgeous. It doesn't get prettier than that, man.
Awesome, brother.
All right, let me take a better snapshot of that. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. I'll make a bigger picture. If you don't have any other questions, we'll definitely call it a day. Copy link. Let me go into WhatsApp, edit this, edit, edit. And I want to change the link. Control V. There we go. Now it looks prettier. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me today. It's been a gas, and if you ever have any questions, put it in the study group chat, and we can make it for our next study session. I will be on the road, but I already confirmed it with my hosts that I'll be able to sit on my laptop, and we'll definitely go over the charts on Sunday at the same time, same place, or at the internet. Have a great week, folks, and we'll see you in the
Awesome.
charts.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.